Hey, this is Dave Bazuki, CEO, founder of Roblox, and I'm here with Ernie Klein. Hey, Ernie.
Hey, Dave. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. Last time we were together, we were hanging at South by Southwest talking about your first book, Ready Player One. But today it's Ready Player Two, and we're celebrating the publication in the US and the UK. I think it's safe to say this is probably the most highly anticipated fiction book of 2020. It's clearly on track to be a massive hit. I've read it. I'm blown away. It's worth
Uh,
it. It's worth the wait.
I'm excited for people to finally get to read it.
With Ready Player 2, we're going to see a lot of great stuff. There's another quest. Um, There's some technical advancements that Halliday left for Wade that could change a lot of things. We've got a lot of action. I think, it's not just the future of the Oasis, it's even a bigger future at stake. Because you're a visionary and you're thinking about VR all the time, I think there may be even hints and advancements there. So there's a lot in this thing coming.
It's lots happened since I wrote the first book. I sold it back in 2010, so it's been 10 years, and the whole landscape of VR has changed since then. So there was a lot to take into consideration when I was writing Ready Player 2.
The event we did on Roblox in 2018 had 13 million people participate.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say this is going to be even bigger.
That first Roblox event was amazing, and I heard about it from people all around the world were excited about it. And my eldest daughter, had been playing Roblox for years, so it was really exciting to have Ready Player One take over her favorite game for a while and have her compete in the contest. I warned her she couldn't win, which disappointed her, but she still had fun participating.
Yeah, I think when we talked at South by Southwest, you hinted a little about your daughter. I'm flattered to hear she's hanging on Roblox in the midst of all that's going on right now. So thank you for sharing that with us.
It's been a huge boon for, I think, kids everywhere, just because it's like the Oasis. It's the closest thing to the Oasis the kids have right now. And just being able to jump in to Roblox whenever they get bored and be with their friends and spend time together in a virtual space has been really therapeutic. So you guys are doing good work.
So, hey, you're making history with Ready Player 2. Let's roll back to Ready Player 1 because you captured the imagination, I think, of just so many people from so many walks of life. And there was a movie that came out of that, which was also incredible. Does anything stand out for all of us that, fantasize about making movies and being in the movies and working with Spielberg? Does anything stand out from that experience for you?
Well, the whole experience stands out. This past year, I've kind of been living in my memories of it. I've been in quarantine for a big chunk of the year. I've spent a lot of time thinking about what a great year 2018 was and how it just exceeded all my expectations. Really what you imagine making a movie with Steven Spielberg is it's really like that. It's like a dream come true, and I got to see so many things that were in my book, brought to life, including the stacks, like this idea of stacked trailers that I built in my imagination ended up getting built for real. So that stands out to me. I remember driving towards Leavesden Studio in London and seeing the stacks on the skyline for real, and engineers had built this thing that I had just imagined.
When you have this in your imagination and then all of a sudden you see it in the movie in real life, how does that feel? Was it at the point of your imagination, beyond your imagination? Like, how do the two line up there?
Well, in my imagination, I don't drill down into all the minute details the way that they do when they make a movie. You have to dress the sets and imagine everything. So I could walk up into any one of these stacks of trailers and go into any trailer, and the whole trailer, looked like somebody lived there. And people were living there. For the few days that we were shooting in the stacks, it was filled with extras who were all, dressed like it was 2045. It was just incredible. It was really a surreal experience. It felt like a dream kind of the whole time I was there. So even looking back on it now, I have to remind myself that all really happened.
I know from last time we talked, you're a big Spielberg fan. And if we move out of science fiction into non-science fiction movies, he's got a huge collection there as well. Is there anything that pops out to you like an old favorite of yours?
Out of his non-science fiction films, I would say Jaws is probably my all-time.
That movie, I remember seeing it and being scared in the movie theater with my parents.
Yeah, everyone was, yeah.
Was there anything in that movie that you thought stuck out to you? Favorite line, anything from it?
You're gonna need a bigger boat is the line that I always quote all the time. Whenever the tools at hand are not sufficient, that's the quote that I always draw upon.
Now that we're getting into Ready Player 2, in a way, you've kind of contributed a bit to the advancement of VR. And is there any way you can think about how you've seen this pan out in almost real life? For us, in the midst of COVID, like I mentioned, we've seen the virtual birthday parties, people trying to connect, younger people trying to figure out how to, work at a distance even. Have you seen any of this come true in your life?
Well, yeah, I mean, everything happens, even the news news anchors and every host of late night television. Everybody's having to do everything from home, virtually, through the internet, including my daughter, who's going to school online, and then also in the evenings she'll hang out with her friends in Roblox, and spend time in a virtual space there. Which reminds me, she wanted me to ask you if you could get her a unicorn.
I think there's probably like hundreds of different types of unicorns, and now
Oh,
that
well.
we've opened up the UGC store on Roblox, there are probably people making unicorns, which will,
Oh, right on.
so absolutely, like,
All right.
high five to that. A lot of people now are talking about the metaverse, and we've also seen people starting to chat not just about how we work or how we learn, but how we consume entertainment, how we work together. Ultimately, I think the vision of Ready Player One and Ready Player Two, and thinking about this vision of the metaverse, is all these things we do in real life, we can start to imagine, doing in the metaverse. Have you seen any other pandemic related things going on related to that, or any other metaverse related advancements since you wrote Ready Player One?
Yeah, a bunch. So much of what I was just imagining in Ready Player One has since come about. Like the Oculus Quest, I got a Oculus Quest, my Oculus Quest here, that I use to hang out in big screen with my friends. There's a VR app called Big Screen where you can hang out in a virtual cinema and with up to like 12 of your friends and all watch a movie together. And afterwards, when you hung out in a virtual space, you really feel like you spent time together. It's really amazing.
Yeah, so we did, like the One World Together concert inside of Roblox, and there was this really interesting thing of walking around with friends, then looking up at the screen. I found myself going from in 3D screen to full screen mode back and forth, and I really like looking over to my friend next to me and like watching it together. I caught a little of that energy, which I think is what we're all hopeful that the metaverse can kind of bring. So I'm looking behind you at your vehicles.
I actually have two DeLoreans hidden back here. But, so this is my garage where I come for inspiration.
When I was just out of high school, I had a 1969 Pontiac Firebird, 400 cubic
Oh,
inch V8, 4 speed. I I know DeLorean is like super favorite for you. Do you use the DeLorean? Like how often do you drive it?
I like to take this car out every night between usually like 8 and 10 o'clock, and listen to '80s music and just like recharge my creative batteries. And whenever I take it out, it always makes people happy. When they're seeing the car. It's usually somebody's seeing the DeLorean for the first time and they've never seen a time machine in person. So it's like a traveling happiness mobile.
One thing I'm curious about, those DeLoreans, are they stock, or have you had to like modify the engine or anything to keep them going?
Yeah, they're all like 35 years old. They made all the DeLoreans between 81 and 82, so they're all about 40, almost 40 years old now, and they do require a lot of work to keep them running. And then plus adding they obviously don't come with all the flux capacitor and wormhole emitter and all the Back to the Future gear. That's all has to be kind of scavenged and cobbled together. So I've been making it more screen accurate over the years. There's always more tweaks I can do to make it cooler. So it's like